Can you just replace these batteries? I'm going to start my seminar now. Just put it back when you're done, okay? The batteries exploded, so if you can kind of like clean it out. I'm going to start, babe. Hi, guys. Sorry, my screen froze there for a second. We're going to get started very shortly. Okay, there we go. I will probably have to start showing my background because I'm going to be using some products here shortly, but we'll get to that in a minute. Hi, guys. Hi, guys. It's okay if you come and go. Today is going to be a very fun class. Please let me know if you guys can hear me. I have new headphones, so I just want to make sure that they're working. But today's class is going to be fun. I'm going to be doing pretty much like a live tutorial of a on-camera makeup look, going from pretty much a natural makeup look to something that you would wear like going out or something that's good for nighttime. And I'm going to be transforming one into the other. So it's going to be a lot of fun. You guys are going to be watching it. We can have discussions in the little Q&A section since I'm going to be like pretty much looking at it the whole time. So I can definitely answer questions on the go. I'm going to be kind of describing each product, what I do with it, how I use it, their, purpose, so on and so forth. But like I said, you guys can ask questions. We can have discussions. Let this be a very fun class. Okay, perfect. You guys can hear me. Awesome. So I'm just waiting on my light. My husband's helping me out and getting me new batteries for it. But let me just move this over here. There we go. Okay. So first and foremost, just want to introduce myself really quickly. My name is Lilly Jamoua. I am a local makeup artist here in Chicago, Illinois. I'm also a licensed esthetician. So I do teach about makeup, how to apply makeup, its purpose, and also skincare and anything that has to do with skin. So I am, like I said, again, going to be doing class, just like a live tutorial on an on-camera ready makeup look so that you guys can feel prepared when going to set, because sometimes they will not have a makeup artist on set for you. They will tell you they need you guys to be ready when you get there. So that's something that I'm pretty much teaching you how to do. And then if you are on set and they're like, okay, but now we need this look to look like they're going to a nightclub, or the scene has progressed, or, they're doing a photo shoot and need you in different styles, I'm going to show you how to take the look that is pretty much natural and enhances your features into a more elevated, a little bit more glam, if you will, look. I am doing this, for a lot of our women that are in these classes. But however, I will teach you guys a few things that the guy actors or guy models can do as well, and what you guys can use in your kits. Okay. It's good to see, not see, but good to be here. Oh, somebody said they're pretty much allergic to most makeup. Any suggestions? Just pretty much pinpointing what ingredient you are allergic to. It's very hard to be pretty much sensitive to, well, it's pretty rare to be sensitive to almost everything. So you really want to just pinpoint what ingredients they are. Maybe you can try to work around them. But it is pretty unfortunate, especially having that allergy and being in this industry. You really need to be able to be versatile. So I understand the struggle there. But I would say the first step is to figure out what ingredients you are sensitive to, and then trying to buy products that don't have those ingredients in them. Let me just adjust my screen here. I've done makeup on some brides who do have sensitivity to some things. Like I know some brides are, that I've had were allergic to mica, which is pretty much anything that's glittery or any type of glitter that you see in like a highlighter. Um, and then I've had a bride who is pretty much that was allergic to dimethicone. And so I had to use almost all products that had absolutely no dimethicone in it. And a majority of products do. Majority of like liquid products or cream products have dimethicone in them. Um, but, uh, or sorry, most powders do. And for her, she specifically told me that when putting powder on top of like a cream or a foundation, she doesn't really get that reaction because it's not really touching her skin. So allergies and sensitivities are very like, you know, just unpredictable. So you really want to experiment obviously to a certain degree, but just really figuring out what's triggering your sensitivities. That's like the biggest and any suggestion I can pretty much give you. Somebody asked if I can go from night to day instead of day to night. Not necessarily. So it is very easy to add makeup to your face. It is very difficult to take makeup away. Majority of the time, if they do ask you to do like a nighttime route, like look, and then you're going to be going into daytime, I would probably try to wash off that makeup the best you can because they're like at what I'm going to show you, you're going to understand why you're using darker colors. It's very hard to, work around dark colors when they're already on. You can kind of like blend things out and kind of like try to put a lighter makeup on top of it to kind of hide it, but that usually makes it look messy. So I always say that it's so much easier to add makeup than to take away. So I wouldn't know how to do that for you guys. I wouldn't suggest it either. I would just start over at that point. How to on camera ready makeup. Somebody asked what they should call this class for their resume. Okay, I'm very excited too. So we'll get started. Okay, so first things first, I did the 3 non-negotiables that I've talked about before, which is cleanse, exfoliate, and then moisturize my face. So my skin prep is pretty much ready, and I'm ready for makeup. I'm just going to clip my hair back so it's not in my face, and then we can get started. I did forget my foundation. Okay. So the first thing I would do, again, just for natural on camera ready makeup, let me just take off my glasses, is I am going to start with my foundation just so that I can have an even base. And then from there, it'll be kind of easy to add things. Like I said, this part is just for natural, to make yourself look like yourself, but better, enhance your features, make your features stand out a little bit more than usual. I always like to pump my foundation in the palm of my hands because the palm of your hands have no pores. So it's very hard for the foundation to get wasted on the palm of your hand instead of your face. So I always use brushes. Some people can use sponges. It's a total personal preference to you. So I'm just going to do that. Oh, you can use a primer. I'm not going to use a primer today because I'm going to be washing this off shortly after. But this is a primer that I like to use a lot. Sorry, I know because of the blur. This is the e.l.f. Power Grip. This is going to help anyone wanting their makeup to stay for a very long time. It's going to make your face feel tacky, which is going to make the makeup stick to your face a lot better. And then I have this foundation, which is called Professional by Benefit Cosmetics. This is a silicone-based primer, and this is going to fill in those pores that you feel that are enlarged, that really show when you put makeup on. It's going to really help kind of smooth out the face and make it look more matte and also, again, more smooth and poreless, just like the name. So I'm just going to make sure I get an even base everywhere. Like I said, this is just like my skin, my face, but better. So I don't want to like overdo it because we want to make sure we're pretty natural. Because there's going to be shoots where they want you to look like your everyday self, but they need makeup. And depending on the camera, depending on the lighting, less is more sometimes. And other times, some things you do need more of. Like I will always powder people when it comes to on camera with lights because you tend to look sweaty, especially in like these areas underneath your eye, like in the middle of your face, really. Just getting that everywhere. Blending, blending. Number one trick to really great makeup looks or really getting good at your makeup is to blend as much as you possibly can. I'm gonna get a little bit more. So I just put one pump. This is gonna be my second pump. This foundation is called the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. It's pretty expensive, but it is very lightweight. The coverage is very light. It's pretty much made to kind of look more on the natural side. It's not very full coverage, so I don't feel like it will make me feel like I'm look like I'm wearing makeup, since that is the goal. I always like taking my foundation down my neck because you always want to blend that out. You don't want to have a line of demarcation where your jaw would be. I always like to take the excess, like I don't really have a lot on my brush of the foundation. And then I'm just going over my eyes. As you can see before, my eyelids had some pigmentation just naturally. I have a little bit darker eyelids. I like to take just a little bit of whatever's left over under my eyes so that way I don't have to put a lot of concealer under there. And then just like that, as you can see now, I feel like I look a lot more even. My face is a blank canvas for the rest of the makeup. I do look kind of pale. It's the light. It's not me, I promise. Okay. So someone is asking or has said, after I put my foundation on lightly, I like to use a finishing powder on it. Cancel all my wrinkles on my chin and my face. What else can I use? Yeah, the powder does kind of eliminate the look of like wrinkles sometimes, depending on what you're using and how much you're using. It can mattify the face, so it doesn't really show a lot of texture. What else you can use are like silicone based primers. Those are really great, especially for fine lines and wrinkles. It helps fill in those fine lines so that way makeup doesn't sit inside and then makes it look worse. So I'd say any type of silicone based primer would work awesome. Sorry, let me just put my phone on do not disturb really quickly. Okay. So next step from here is I'm just going to add more structure to my face and add a little bit of color to my face. So I'm just going to grab a stick bronzer that I have, and I'm just going to put it in the high points of, the outer perimeter of my face. So I use this a lot higher than you would for a contour. People put their contours like right underneath their cheekbones. I like to put this like kind of on my cheekbone because as you are blending it out, and I just put a little bit just like that. As you blend it out, it will kind of migrate down. And then I'll just put like the tiniest bit on my forehead just to give me color. Like this is not really like a contour shade, if you will. It has a little bit of warmth to it. I like to just put a little bit on the sides of my nose and then just on my chin area right here. And then with that same brush, I will blend my neck first because I don't really want this area to look dramatic. So I don't really want it to dry down. Just like that. And then same thing here. I'm just going to blend these areas. Just using a really light hand. It's just going to give me some, structure to my face. Give it some shape. Give me some color. And not everybody has to do this. You can do this if you want to. If you don't want to, you don't have to do it with a brush. You can totally put this on and then blend it out with your fingers. You can use a sponge, whatever works for you, honestly. And I'm just blending, literally just sitting here, blending. There's no right or wrong, especially because it's cream. Like if you don't use a lot, you can add, and it won't look like crazy makeup. You just want to add a little bit at a time and really work the layers up very lightly. Just like that. What makeup do you recommend to reduce bags or tired looking eyes? A color corrector will really help brighten things up. So I will show you because I use one as well. Or you can use an under eye brightener. They have concealers that are just like a lot more cool tone in their undertones, so like they're very light pink, and that will really help brighten your under eyes. You can also use powders that help with that. But like I said, less is always more with makeup, so you don't want to use too much product, then it'll end up looking worse. So from here, I'm going to do just a little bit of blush. I'm just doing creams for this look. This look is literally going to be super easy. I'm doing like, I think a few more steps and that's about it. One thing I do want to do is take a smaller brush and the like bronzing contour shade that I used and just go in my crease of my eyes. And notice how I'm doing this with my eyes open because then it gets me right above in this area. If you do it with your eyes closed, you tend to go right above the eyelids. And once you open your eyes, you can't see any of that. So I like to go right above. So again, it gives my eye a shape. Does it make it look flat? Because it can look flat on screen. So if you can tell the difference, it's very slight, but there's still a difference. It's kind of like contouring, but not very, very naturally. And there's no technique. I'm just like either going in circles, going back and forth, like windshield wipers, like there's no rhyme or reason, but just like that, like the slightest bit, okay? And then I am going to use a blush. I've been using like this kind of color blush. You can do pinks, you can do whatever you need. This is just what I use, and I use a lot because I feel like having flush cheeks is a lot more natural looking than being super bronzy. And I'm just going to blend this for a little bit. I like to kind of drag it under my eyes too because it helps with color correcting, especially with my under eyes. Just bringing it high, really in here. And I know because the windows are here, but do you see how now I have like a natural flush to my skin? And I'm wearing makeup. It doesn't even look like I'm wearing makeup, but it's there. You just got to blend it out. And I know like I'm putting the product to my face. I don't do that for clients. I either scrape the product out of that little tube and I put it on a palette, or I rub it on my hand and then I, use the brush on my hand. I do not put products like that on like one from one person to the other. They're mine, so they're totally okay for me to put on my face, but I would never do that with clients. It's very unsanitary. So if makeup artists do that for you, run away, run real fast. Yeah. So you want to look natural, but you want to look polished because you want a little bit more, right? So a few things that I'm going to do next is I'm going to just use a clear eyebrow gel and I'm just going to tame and kind of groom my eyebrows and just make sure that they're up and out and, brushed so that they look nice and tailored. And then same thing for this one. After this, all I'm going to do is curl my lashes, and then I'm not going to put mascara on, but we'll pretend, and you guys would be putting on mascara because I'm going to be putting more makeup on, and I feel like it's going to get everywhere if I put it on. I'm just going to curl. And that's it. One other thing, sorry, I did forget. I will use this now. I'll put more later, but this is a color corrector. So this is like a little concealer, but you can't really see it on camera. The color is like a very light salmony pink color, and that is going to help me color correct my under eyes. That's it. That's as much as I'm putting on. So one dot here, and I'm just going to blend it out with my finger because I feel like the warmth of my hand really helps melt the makeup into my skin a lot better. And then you always want to use your ring finger on the underneath your eyes because they say your ring finger is your weakest finger, and underneath your eyes the skin underneath your eyes are so sensitive. Like you don't want to do a lot of damage to them because that's what creates fine lines and wrinkles. So I'm just blending it out. And it also kind of brightened up my under eyes a little bit. And we're going to pretend that I'm putting mascara on. I put a little lip gloss on, and then that's it, right? So that would be my everyday look. That's something that I feel like most characters would have on an everyday, just to look polished, but to look like themselves, to look healthy with a healthy glow, all of those things, right? So do we have any questions about this look before I move on? Okay, so I'm going to move on. Okay, so I'm going to put my hair back up. I don't know why I took it down. Okay, so you are doing your thing on camera, and they're like, okay, we're going to switch to like you're going out. You're going out on the town, and you're going on a date, or um, you're in a commercial where the product is supposed to last you all day. So the first scene is you're walking on the street and it's daytime. And then the second scene is when, now it's turning nighttime and now you're going out to dinner or you're doing something, going to a concert, and this product is still working for you. So those like transitional things are going to happen on sets. They're going to happen in movies, short films, commercials, whatever it may be, even in photo shoots sometimes. Like when I do photo shoots for models, sometimes always, I always do the beauty shots first because it takes the minimal amount of makeup. I don't want to put a bunch of makeup on, make them wash their face, and then redo it. Kind of like you want to work smarter, not harder. So I always do the first beauty shot. It'll be like this, pretty clean makeup, and then we'll progressively add more and more makeup as the shoot goes on, and then it will get darker, it will get more dramatic, and so on and so forth. So I hope that kind of makes sense and why I'm doing it this way. And majority of the time, or I'm hoping most of the time, they would be doing that for you too. However, there are exceptions, right? So if it's a complete big change, I'll most likely want you to like wash it off and redo it. Okay. You're so welcome. Somebody liked the tips for every day. And like honestly, it takes this. That's it. Like you don't need to do much more. If you do more and you're very comfortable in your routine and you feel like you look your best when you do like a few more extra steps, keep doing them. If that's something that you can do in your routine and you have time for it, then that's you. Like honestly, like you keep doing you. But if you feel like you need a little bit more help, I hope that these little steps helped you kind of, make a little bit more sense of your routine at home. So the next few things I'm going to do to kind of like elevate this look is I'm going to add some darkness to the eyes. So I'm going to add like a liner and smudge out a darker color to kind of give you like a faux smoky eye, but it's going to be very subtle. So I'm just taking this. It's like a makeup crayon. The color is like a taupey gray, and it's not black, but it's like a taupey gray. And I'm just putting drawing a majority of it on the outside corners of my eyelids. I'm going to do one eye at once at a time because I don't want it to get dry. I'm just going to take like a fluffy brush like this, and I'm just going to blend it out like that. Like we're just going to drag this color back and forth. And this is like directly on my lid. Like you don't need to keep your eye open. And I'm just going to blend this. That's it. Like back and forth, back and forth. It doesn't take a lot. And you see how it's like already moving and doing its thing? This is all you need to do. Back and forth, back and forth. You just want to make sure that it's kind of like majority of the product is here at the corner, but it's evenly distributed everywhere else. See? And it's subtle. It doesn't look too crazy, but it looks a little bit more elevated. It looks a little bit more nighttime. And it's really easy. It took one little color. And if you want whatever's left over, you can go above. Like where I put that bronzer, you can put whatever's left on this brush there. There's no rhyme or reason to blending. It's just the back and forth, always the back and forth, okay? And you always want to have like a lighter grip on your brushes. If you put your hand all the way at like closer towards the bristles, it'll be more of a harsher um, blend because you have so much more control. Whereas if you're at the more towards the end of the brush, it almost feels a little bit more flimsy, and you kind of want that because you want more of like a feather like touch when you're trying to blend things out because you don't want to have too much pressure on the brush. Just like that. We're going to do that same thing on the other side. So I'm going to keep majority of the product right here at the outer corner of my eye. Remember, and I have to keep this pretty fast because, like, what if you have literally just 5 to 10 minutes to do this and changes your look? Like, we have to make sure we're moving and grooving here. In the beginning, I always kind of like focus on just blending this out a little bit more than the rest. And then I'll kind of like go back and forth and move the brush around my eyelid. Just like that. I'm going to take the rest of it, kind of go up here, right around. If you have a hooded eye, you want to do all of this with your eyes open, and you want to make sure you can put the product on your eyelid. You just don't want to make sure you're putting too much. Focus it more on the lash line, and then whatever else there is, you want to open your eyes and put that product right on this area, right above your eyelid. Okay, so it would be a little bit, I don't have a hooded lid, so you can't really tell, but it would be right on that crease that's showing when your eyes are open. Okay. That's like the trick for hooded eyelids. You want to do everything with your eyes open. Okay. So now that I've done that, it's subtle, but it's something, right? I'm going to take an eyeshadow palette that I have, and I'm just going to use this brown color, not a very warm color. It's almost looking gray. And I'm just going to put that all over my lids and where I put the rest of it just to kind of prevent it from moving anywhere and then make it a little bit darker. Same thing, just blend, blend, blend right on top of it, going everywhere. Wherever I put that crayon, that's where I'm putting this eyeshadow. It's also to like set it. We don't want it to move, especially if we're like sweating or anything like that, or if we get like oily throughout the day when we're working. We don't want it to move. We don't want it to budge. Sometimes you don't always have time to do touch-ups. Okay, just like that. Awesome. I'm going to take a darker color, which is like this color. Sorry, I know this guy right here. And I'm just going to focus that right on the outer corner of my eye. Same brush. I've literally used the same brush for this whole thing. And I'm just going to lightly blend that just in this little corner right here. I don't have lashes today, so that's something I'm not teaching you guys today. I did not have time to go grab those. So, okay. So from here, I'm just going to clean up a little bit. So I'm just going to take a Q-tip and let me grab my little mirror because I can't really see. And I'm just going to clean up right there. You can see that. That's like the trick to makeup. Nothing has to be perfect because you can make it perfect and you can clean it up. just like that. And like whatever makeup was on, it's okay. We're gonna end up putting more on it. It doesn't matter. Same thing here. Okay. So from here, I am going to put some of that little crayon in my eye as well, like on my waterline, just to make my eyes look more nighttime. And then one thin line across, just like that. Oops. Put a little bit too much on this one. It's fine though. Add a little bit more here, even it out. Put in my inner waterline just right in the corner. Just like that. See? Now it looks a little bit darker. We'll pretend like we're going to a nightclub, so I'll put a little shimmer on too. Make it look nice. Just like that. And then from here, I'm going to put like an actual concealer on because I just put on that color corrector. And I put like a very light amount of concealer. I don't put a lot on. So I'm just going to just a dot, and then put a little bit of this one on too. I like to mix them. And then I will blend these not with my finger, but with my little brush that I have, just because I want to make sure I'm being very precise about where I'm putting it. I want to look very bright in this area. And then I want to like clean up a little bit of what I tried to clean to make it look more precise. See, it's easy as that, just with some concealer. And you can see how it like lifts the eye a little bit more. And it also makes the darker eyes look more dramatic. It brings more attention to them. It brings them more structure. Just like that. Awesome. I like to also put some of this lighter concealer on my chin, on the middle of my forehead right here, and then on my nose. This is just going to help bring more attention to the center of my face, and that will make me look more glam. I put like way too much on my nose, so don't put that much on your nose. It was an accident. Just blend with that little brush. I'm going to go back with the brush that I used for my face earlier and just help everything else blend a little bit more, but I just want to do the bulk with this brush. So if I have any excess, it can pick it up. Put a little bit up here too, make everything look more bright. Go back to this brush. Here we go. Blend it in a little bit better because we were looking crazy for a second. There we go. Hey. Now from here, what I would do is I would definitely, not that one, put a little bit of the darker eyeshadow underneath, just on the lower lash line, right underneath your lower lashes. So I would just do it right here. Just to help none of that crayon makeup on. You don't want that to move. So we always like to reinforce it with a little bit of powder. Just like that. And then from here, I always like to make the eyebrows look a little bit more dramatic too. So instead of like filling them in, I'm going to use another eyebrow gel, but it's going to be tinted. So it has color in it. So it will naturally give me a little bit more color to my brows. Like that. Mhm. We will do some powder. So I always like to make sure that I am powdering underneath my eyes where I did that concealer because we don't want that moving anywhere. And then I always love to put powder here so that it looks nice and poreless also, so that we don't get shiny on camera and look like we're sweating, because that's what that can look like. And we do not want that. Same thing for the middle of the forehead. You can tend to look a little shiny and it'll come off as like you are sweaty, and we don't like that. Just like that. Okay. When I have blemishes, I was putting concealer over them. Sometimes I feel like it makes my blemishes more noticeable. So recently I put a beauty mark over it and said, what would you suggest? Just that. When you are also, don't put any makeup on a blemish that's like about to pop. That's like asking for bacteria to be sitting on your face. Also, if you've already popped it, or already if it is already popped on its own, I would definitely put something moisturizing on top of it. Any makeup that sits on top of anything dry and has texture will look even worse. So I always like to put on Aquaphor on my blemishes afterwards so that it helps it heal. And then, yes, I make them beauty marks, because it will always have a texture. Makeup can never cover texture. Makeup also honestly makes texture look 10 times worse. So you want to kind of camouflage it into something else. And making it a beauty mark is super duper smart. Okay, from here, yeah, you can do like pimple patches as well, but I find that makeup doesn't really sit that great on pimple patches, because the pimple patch is like silicone. It like looks weird and really stands out. So if it works for you, it works for you. Some people don't. They just like to make them beauty marks. So I'm just going to do a little bit of bronzer, which is pretty much setting what I've done already, and then I'm going to do a little bit of powder blush, and then we're pretty much almost done. And I'm doing like the smallest little dusting of whatever, just to kind of like set it, but to add more color because I feel like it kind of went away. And again, like you want a little bit more dramatic because your eyes are a little darker. I always say like the darker the eyeshadow, you kind of like are, it's like a little bit more glam. So you want to put a little bit more makeup on the rest of the face. You can't like, I mean, you can go like no makeup on the face with like a full smoky eye, but it always looks a little weird. So I put some blush on. So you see my skin looks really nice and glowy. From here, I'm going to do some mascara. We'll do lips, and then we're pretty much done. And now you see what it looks like to go from one look to the other. It's super easy. And honestly, just do whatever you naturally do, like don't overthink it. You don't have to do everything I've just done. You could do whatever steps work best for you with whatever products. But I just wanted to show you how versatile it can be and that you can do more than one look right on top of one another. Again, I wouldn't do the nighttime to daytime because that doesn't sit on top of each other very nicely. But this is a great thing to know how to do, especially if there's no makeup on site. You will be very much so, I need a new lip liner. You will very much so be very hireable because you can do things on the fly. You can take care of yourself. You're dependable. And that's always such a great thing to have as an employee on set. I am just lining my lips with like a natural color. Like that. And that's about it. And that's my daytime to nighttime look. Very easy, nothing too difficult, very effective. Do we have any questions? I'm going to turn this down a little bit because this is like crazy. There we go. Okay. Any questions for what I did here? All my steps, all the fun things, any makeup questions, product questions? Let me get through some of these so that when new ones come up, I can see. Oh, and don't be intimidated with makeup. Makeup can be washed off, right? So just when you're not doing much at home and you have time, sit in front of the mirror and practice. Practice makes perfect. Perfect. Sorry, practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes better. You're so welcome. Um, For a good mascara, I would say anything that for you, since you want it to look more long instead of clumpy, would really get like a lengthening mascara. You can use the mascaras that have like the primers first, and then you put the mascara. Those always are great. I all love all drugstore mascaras. I think that they're really, really great. And I would just try some out and see what works best for you. Some of them don't work that great for some, and then some are better for others. You're so welcome for all of the tips. I'm I'm so happy that this was informative. I'm happy you guys got something out of it. What was the very first product you used to make your makeup stay on longer? Was the primers. The primers, because I did not use them, but you should use them. This is the e.l.f. primer. It's called the Power Grip. So it feels like like a sticky gel. And once you put it on your face, you're gonna start to feel that it's gonna get sticky as you're rubbing it in. That's good. Once it gets sticky, that's when you're ready to put on your foundation or whatever makeup you're gonna be putting on. How do you feel about waterproof makeup? And if so, what's a good brand? There isn't technically any makeup that's waterproof. There are some that are water resistant. There are some eye pencils that say they're waterproof. Um, they can be, but not everything. I would say most things are water resistant. Really good brands for waterproof or water resistant. Makeup Forever makes a lot of great water resistant eye pencils and stuff like that. Urban Decay is another good brand. One second. So sorry. Um, is clear mascara okay? Yes, clear mascara is amazing for my male clients. You don't, or brown, you could use brown. You don't have to use black. Brown tends to look very natural as well. But yeah, clear mascara is amazing. I always keep clear mascara in my kit as well. I'm glad someone said they learned they haven't been blending as much as they should. I'm glad you saw that I a majority of it is blending. Like you just have to have really good placement in where you're putting it, and then evenly distribute the product. So you saw I didn't like really like cake on the layers. I just put like one stripe, and I really blended it out for a while. And that's why it kind of looks a little bit airbrushed. You just have to really blend. That's the key to makeup, is taking the time to blend. You guys are so welcome. I'm so happy you guys got so much out of this. Someone said it's a lot more that they wanted than they wanted to know about makeup, but it's always good to be open to know about makeup on set. Yeah, it is. And you're going to be sitting in a chair, in a makeup chair. Does not matter the role. You're going to be sitting in the makeup chair, whether it be special effects or you're a guy and they're putting a fake beard on you or you're getting powdered. It's always good to know certain things. It's always good to know like what it looks like to get your makeup done or what it looks like to do makeup, so that it's not a foreign thing for you, and that you know what to expect. And that sometimes, like I said, they're not going to have makeup artists on sets. You kind of have to know what to do. If you're looking a little shiny and you don't have any makeup on you, at least have like a powder compact, even if it's a translucent powder or colorless powder, as long as it can make the middle of your face matte and less oily or shiny looking. That's like already half the battle. How do you feel about the white stick makeup that you see in the internet? It's okay. It all depends. You can use it if you're more on the fair side of skin tones, but it does not make makeup for anybody with deeper or darker skin tones. So keep that in mind. That's the reason why I don't really care for it, because it's not very inclusive. For me, I need to carry things in my kit that I can use on almost everybody and anybody. Because when I'm doing makeup for weddings, I don't meet the bridesmaids and the mother of the bride or the mother of the groom beforehand, and I have no idea what they look like. So I have to make sure I have everything in my kit that I need, just in case, for any type of situation that's at hand. But that stick is very it's not very new. So the technology is pretty old. The stick is very new to the makeup world, but there were a while ago drugstore brands like L'Oreal, I think, or Rimmel made a skin tint, if you will, or like a tinted moisturizer that came off, or when you took it out of the bottle, it was white, but then once you rubbed it into your skin, it kind of blended into your skin and it almost looked like a foundation, and it like matched you perfectly. It's the same technology. So it works. If it works for you, that's amazing. I just know that they don't have shades for every skin tone out there, and that can be a problem for some people. Any other questions? My favorite lipstick color would have to be Charlotte Tilbury's Pillow Talk, but the medium toned one, because she has like three different versions. There's a fair, there's the regular, and then the darker one, I think. So I like the regular. So the one in the middle. That's the one that I like. Anything else? I use Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk on almost every single bride, every single bride or bridesmaid. It's just a great pink that's very neutral and it looks good on everybody. And then the fact that she made different tones, like a fair one or just the regular one, and then a deeper one for other skin tones, amazing. We love that. Leave-in conditioners. I'm not a hairstylist, so I can't answer that question, to be honest with you. What is your favorite lip balm if you do use it? Also, do you vouch for Aveda products? I use their Kinetic Energizing Eye Cream, but I am looking for an alternative to try it. Thank you. I love Aveda. Aveda is a great brand. If you are looking for a different eye cream that you feel like you want to switch to or you just want to try out, Dermalogica has a few of them that are really, really great, especially in the line that's like more maroon red. They have a really good eye cream. Lip balm, I just use Aquaphor. To be honest with you, I don't really use any other brands. I think that they're all gimmicks. That's just my opinion, though. To bring out the blue in my eyes, what's a good shadow to use? Anything that's more warm tone, so that looks more orange or looks more red, will really, really bring out blue eyes. Makes them look striking. What color lipstick would you recommend for mature lips? Um, Anything that is your jam. Honestly, there is no specific color that looks good on just mature skin. Any color lipstick will look great on you if you rock it. If it's red, if it's orange, if it's pink, they look good on everybody, especially if you are feeling confident in it. The only thing I will say for more mature lips is always use a lip liner because lipsticks tend to bleed out. And using a lip liner always helps that problem go away. Any suggestions for an inexpensive foundation or tinted moisturizer? Inexpensive, yes. Elf has a really great tinted moisturizer and foundations, and they're pretty inexpensive. Anything, honestly, from the drugstore nowadays is pretty great. I'm not going to lie to you. Some of them are a little bit more expensive than others, but some of them are very inexpensive. So I would definitely look into that. Suggestions for anti-aging products. Anti-aging products as in skincare, anything that says it's for anti-aging. Retinols, salicylic acid serums, those are all great for anti-aging. Any other questions? Best lipstick color for brunettes. I would say anything that is like a pinky brown. Kind of like this. It's like a pinky brown, very neutral, but nothing too like nude. It's like a darker nude, like a pinky brown nude. I think that looks really good on brunettes. Thank you. I'm so glad you guys are getting a lot out of this class. So just to wrap it up, the next class I'm going to be having is going to be Makeup Brushes 101, and that is always so much fun for me to do for you guys. I go through my entire professional kits, makeup brushes. I show them to you. I also show you my personal brushes that I use for myself. I go through each brush, what it's used for, what it looks like, and then other tools that you can use for as a makeup brush, how to clean them, and the products that you use to clean them. So just make sure you guys sign up for that one too. Just a few more questions and then I'm going to sign out. Okay, guys? Best eyeshadow tones for brunettes. I would say taupey colors, like taupey gray-ish colors look really great on brunettes. Purples look so good on brunettes. I don't mean like neon purple. I mean like mauve purples, like grayish purples. Those look really good on brunettes. I have a no. I don't have any suggestions for that. I don't give medical advice. Eczema wise, is there any account over the counter indication? But for what? For eczema wise, is there any counter indication for makeup? No, unless you're super duper dry, make sure you moisturize. If you're sensitive to something, stop using it. Oh, fragrance. Fragrance, yeah. Try not to use anything with fragrance in it. If you have eczema, you will flare. Some people don't, some people do. So, all right, guys. So I hope you guys got a lot out of this class. Again, next week we're going to do Makeup Brushes 101. If you guys do want some of the PowerPoints that I do in the past, my email is lilyjam9@gmail.com. You guys can email me and then I can send those over as PDFs or, yeah, PDFs. And that way you guys have that info for like with you guys at home and you guys can like look through it whenever you need to. Okay. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Have a great week and we'll see you guys next week. Bye guys. Thank you.